Here we go. What is up, everybody? Let me just tell you something here, Joseph.
What?
We got an amazing group of people that support us on this little thing called Patreon.
What's
and real
Patreon?
quickly,
Can you tell me about it?
Patreon is this awesome place where you can go, and by the way, you can make us better by going over there. And it just so happens it's the name of the Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/make us better, you can go over there, get some cool stuff, hang out with some cool people, and do all this amazing stuff and support this show as well as the Gaming Gurus.
That's true.
The PlayStation Podcast.
That's also true.
We the Gamercast.
I heard.
But here's the thing. Without some people, it wouldn't happen. So real quickly, I want to just say thank you to Platinum Executive Producer Cory Hicks, Gold Executive Producer Sheldon Benedict, sometimes it was Sheldon Benjamin, just depends on the time of day and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nick Milicia of Next Level Games, James Johnson, Dr. Doom, Jesse Armstrong, Glauco Schaffer, David Ray, Mike Drummie, Brendan Myers, and Aaron Doherty. So it's not gentlemen, Sean, shut your face. Yeah. With that, let us begin thy show.
All right, let's do this.
If we ran Nintendo. If we ran Nintendo.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 87 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the People's Champion of Podcasts, Mr. Bad Bit himself, Joseph Moran. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm fantastic, and depending on where you find me, it's actually Senor Bad Bit as well.
Senor.
Senor. Going to my Spanish roots.
I can see that. I can see that totally. We're gonna put a sombrero on you.
Yeah.
Not the racist sombrero that Mario wears.
That one offended me so much, but like just the regular one.
Just a regular sombrero.
And the poncho, but not the one that offends me as well.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
exactly.
I'm so offended.
So
that's my favorite level in that whole game.
It's a great level. It's a really fantastic level.
Fantastic. It's fantastic.
Real quick, I just want to say shout out to Mr. Sean Capri, Gabe Hills in the chat, Ryboflavins, John Thomas the Gamer. How are you guys doing? Link is apparently watching with us, so there you go. Here we go. Joseph, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
So
I survived Thanksgiving. I survived Black Friday. Now I'm in the middle of surviving finals week.
I'm just trying to survive this coffee cup. This gigantic.
What? You asked me how I'm doing. You cut me off.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I'm in finals week. God, so rude. Let me tell you, because I'm the new guy, right?
You're the new guy. I don't care. That's finals. Whatever. Finals is for like kids, man. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, I know. It's every time I'm still in college. It depresses me. I get a little more depressed each time. But other than that, though, I got some cool stuff on Black Friday.
Really say this cup is like a workout, dude. Like I'm flex, dude. I'm gonna have like arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger by the end of the show. This thing is so big, man.
I doubt that, Bobby.
Well, I doubt it too, but just go with it, man. It's part of the shtick. What did you get on Black Friday?
Well, I got a couple things. I got Evil Within 2. I got Nier Automata, Wolfenstein 2, Assassin's Creed Origins. But most importantly, I got an SD card. A 200 gigabyte SD card.
Nice.
Because I've decided, and this is a bad bit decree, that I'm going to be going digital on the Switch.
Very nice. Very nice.
I feel
you don't have to carry around all this stuff.
Exactly. That's my main thing is like every time when I'm about to take the Switch out, I decide not to because I'm like, but am I going to lug around my little Switch purse with me with all the games? Like,
yes.
I'd rather just have it in my pocket, not have to deal with it, and then just be done with it.
You know, here's the thing. I would be with you, except for one thing. You can't get this for $20 on the eShop.
That. So when I say go digital, if I'm gonna buy a Nintendo title, it's gonna be digital.
Okay.
Because am I really gonna trade in Mario? No. Yeah. I'm not gonna trade in Zelda. So when it comes to things like maybe like if I see a sale that is like provocative, I'm like, ooh, hello, ladies. Yeah. I will then pick up it physically, but it's not gonna be. It's gonna be in the back burner.
Yeah.
You know, this is my first console I'm doing it with. I'm very nervous.
Yeah, it's My thing is that I am, at one point I was going to go digital.
Yeah.
And that's the way I was going to be. But then, like I said, I bought this today. Well, I actually got this Saturday from Amazon, $20 for those that are listening. It's the Batman Telltale series. I also picked me up some Skyrim, which we'll
yes, I was about to get my case out here. Yeah,
we'll jump into that in a minute. L.A. Noir, which I have not opened up yet. I know you can get behind some L.A. Noir.
It's a very bad game.
It's not a bad game. You need to stop that nonsense.
I worked at GameStop at that midnight. I was so excited, and then I was like, I plugged it in. I was like, wow, 3-4 discs for a whole bunch of mediocrity. All right.
It's one cartridge.
Well, on that one, but like I think it was like 2 discs on the 360.
I got something in my eye, man. It's killing me.
Rybo wants to know though, how far are we in Skyrim? Skirrit drop the faith, as I like to call it.
Let's do this first before we jump into all that.
Okay.
Let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our shout-outs. Joseph.
Yes.
Do you have any shout-outs for this week?
I'm going to beat you to this punch. I'm going to say my shout-out is to Senor Toby and his wife, Senorita Toby's wife, and their little baby. They made a little baby together, guys.
Here's the thing. Why are you going to turn? I told you last week that I go first. Why are you jumping ahead of me? I just said, do you have any? I didn't say it's your turn to go.
Well, you know what? That was in my mind. I was like, here's where I start to steal the spotlight.
Sean, fire up Skype. It's going to happen.
All right, bye. Guys, bye. See you, everybody. But yeah.
I just don't understand. I don't understand how you're stealing my flow, man. My shout out, first off, goes to Senior Jules Watcham. I got the new Mutant Muds t-shirt.
It looks very good.
It's the collector's edition. It's the collector's shirt. So I got to give a shout out to my boy Jules.
Has he announced when it's coming out?
He has not announced yet. I think he's still waiting for Nintendo to give him the okay that it's a good game and that it's going to actually fly on the Switch and go. So that would be my first shout out. You can go back to your shout out with where you were.
So I want to say, and we'll give a shout out to the little baby Toby out there. Do we know baby Toby's name?
It is baby Toby. It's Bobby.
It's Bobby.
They named the baby Bobby. Sean, you're not getting in on this call, Sean. Get out of here. We're trying to run a show, Sean.
And I heard the baby's middle name is actually Sean. Capri, like the pants.
Yeah. That's the way we go.
It's a really long name. It's Bobby, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants, and then something British as a last name.
Yeah, no, it's Evie. Evie is her name.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would have named her Zelda, right? And then they would have had an arranged marriage between Link and Zelda.
Oh, I ship it already.
You know what I'm saying?
I already shipped this. Yeah,
but totally, Toby screwed it up.
Oh,
Toby
and then when we all get together, we can have like a little because Sean Capri's wife could photo shoot anything. She's just and she could have this little beautiful baby wedding, right? I mean, it's kind of creepy, baby weddings, but it's also really adorable if you think about it.
Yeah, it's perfect. So, we could go back to arranged marriages.
Yeah, the good old days.
Well, because look, exactly.
I won't let him.
So my next shout out is going to go to Mr. Amiibo Jason.
Ooh.
I don't know if you know who he is. He actually started a bunch of different things back when the Amiibo craze was going haywire, and it's now Nintendo Wire. If you can go to NintendoWire.com, he runs that and all that stuff. He is actually going to be on Nintendo Talk Live Thursday evening. Ooh. We're going to bring him in. We're going to chat. We're going to talk some stuff with him, and we're going to have a good time with that. So I'm excited to sit down with Jason. The last time we spoke to him, he was actually on If We Ran Nintendo a while back with Sean. So it was a good time. So I'm excited about this one.
I don't have any fancy guests to just start throwing out there all willy-nilly. I don't got no PlayStation wires or whatever.
Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
I'm a little. But you know who I'm going to shout out because they gave me a good laugh today?
Who's that?
Todd Oxtra. because he posted this thing that was on Kotaku of how what was it, that damn video game you kids are loving on the mobile phones nowadays? Oh, I had it right.
Pocket?
Yeah, they're doing some cultish behavior. It's like an American Horror Story, but mobile phone version. It's like season 7 over there.
Really?
It's nuts. So people are locking each other up. They're doing like some type of real weird rituals to each other, all in Animal Crossing mobile. It's weird, and I gotta ask you, Bobby. I don't know if I want to get into this game anymore because I've been on the fence about it for the last week.
Because this is no idea what's going on.
Because if this is my first Animal Crossing game,
listen, don't. This okay. First,
am I going to be in some cult?
This should not be your first Animal Crossing game at all. Do not.
So I just hold off.
Do not buy it. Don't download it. Don't play it because this should not be your introduction to Animal Crossing.
All right.
Because this is not. To me, this is not a good interpretation of Animal Crossing.
Oh,
so I would not
like it.
I like it. it. But if I was to play Animal Crossing for the first time, this would not be the version that I want. Okay. I would want New Leaf because New Leaf to me is the best Animal Crossing there is.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean, so I would not. I would definitely not say like this is your first foray into Animal Crossing.
So should I go out? Should I go out and buy it, the 3D? The New Leaf. Or should I wait until the Switch version? Because they said it's coming.
Well, they say a lot of things. You know what I mean? But, I would say if by E3 they haven't announced it, then I would go buy New Leaf.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's a really good game. It really is.
All right.
What about you? Any more shout-outs?
I'm out, man. I'm empty. Yeah.
I want to give a shout-out to Ryboflavins in there.
You know what? He's a good kid. Best
partner. What, man? We played the other night. We were playing some Splatoon again. Dove into Splatoon, and we played some Mario Kart. And I just want to say this: that Rybo is an absolute cheater at Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with him as a friend. He backstabs the hell out of you when you play this stuff, and it's really depressing that I let this guy hang around. Like
wow.
I really don't know where my head is at this point. Like
wow.
I should take him away as being a mod, and I should ban him from everything.
Honestly?
Like, we're racing, and he's completely cheating the whole time. He's fire hopping. He's just cheating all over. We can't... Although, when we beat him, it was fun.
Okay.
But it was very rare. Because the
game was fair.
Because the dude is just so good, man. He is so good.
I
love you, Rybo.
I'll be honest with you. Rybo's a good man. He's a good teammate.
He is.
We won the Splatoon tournament back in the day
that I had.
That's where I carry the belt. I hang it up on the wall. You can't see it, but it's there. Rybo's a good man, and he has a lot of honor. So that's
we were playing some Splatoon the other night, and it was fun, dude. It was really, really awesome to play with him again. Like I love playing with Rybo, but he was just like, "Hey, Bobby, you need some help?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, jump on." And he jumped in, and we were playing together. He's really, really good. You know what? See, this is the stuff I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
This pesky crown is covering my ears. What was that, Bobby? See, it's stuff like that I'm not a fan of. Be a gracious winner, Rybo. Don't sit there and taunt. I don't need to taunt.
Bobby just said, guys, be a gracious winner.
I wouldn't be, because I'd be talking trash.
Oh, God.
I got one final shout out before I wrap this up. Joe After Work. He did an extra live stream this past weekend, and that's where everything kind of went down. When I met Joe at the Ojo meeting, we raced at Mario Kart, and I beat him. And it turned out when the match was over, I had the assist mode on, and I didn't realize this.
Uh-oh.
So it starts this whole controversy thing. He's telling me that like I needed that to beat him. So I was like, okay, anytime, any place. And he's like, okay, let's do it on my stream on Extra Life. So I log in, and I'm on Skype with him, and we're both live during the stream, and it was pretty awesome. I smoked him 4 races in a row.
Ooh.
And just laid him on his back. Just really put a hammer down on him.
It's, Joe After Work, you got to realize something. I think that was the biggest mistake. Because if you beat him on game assist, you gotta be like, okay, you know what? It was a common mistake. I think blowing it up Because here's the deal: game assist, like the road assist, it doesn't really help you.
It don't help. That's what I said to him. I said I can't get off the track.
You can't do the drifts. You can't do drifts well at all.
And here's the other thing. So we were playing the very first Mario circuit track, and I come off the final jump just before the turn, and I had a speed boost. So I wanted to like shoot through the pipes and hit the turbo boost to go through over the sand. And when I did, it yanked me right back on the track. And that's when I realized I had
type of shortcuts. Yeah,
and I was like, I can't do the short. What the hell's going on here, man? And then I wound up beating him. I wound up passing him on the last lap and got it. So I don't know. Anyway, so
what a gracious winner, though. You see that, guys? That was the talk of a gracious winner. He's like, anyways,
yes,
no limelight for me. Let's move on.
The limelight is all, you know. I'm just amazing. Anyway, so here's the thing.
The most humble man I know. Yes,
I wanted to kick this episode off with a little chat. You know what I mean? I wanted to jump into some Skyrim chat.
Okay.
And so this is my first time I ever played Skyrim.
Wow.
Okay.
This is my fifth.
Yeah, I've never played this game at all. So my first impression was I hate this game. I started to play it.
Buggy at the beginning.
But it was first person. So I was like, how do I turn this off? What is going on? Like, I thought this game was third person. What is going on? I don't like this. And all of a sudden, I started to get a little nauseous. I'm like, where's my C-bands? I need my C-bands. I'm like, why am I playing this game? And I shut it off. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to play it. It's over. I'm going to take the game up. I'm going to throw it at my wife, tell her to go play it because she likes Fallout and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, she would love Skyrim,
Yeah. So then, this morning, before I went to work, I threw Skyrim back in again, and I started to play again. And all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? There's gotta be... I gotta check my views. I'm messing up here. So, I clicked the settings, and I changed it to third person, over the top. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Now we got it. And I'm going through the first scene where the dragon's attacking, man. It's popping through the walls, and I'm like, me and this dude are just running like idiots, just trying to get away. And I'm like, this is pretty intense. This is pretty awesome. And I'm like, wow. All of a sudden, man, it started to get it. I felt the hooks just digging right into my shoulders, man. I'm like,
this is good.
This is gonna be really a lot of fun, man. And then all of a sudden, man, little by little, I started to play more, and then I actually was almost late tonight. I played for an hour before we started, and I looked up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be late, and I started panicking. I shut it down. I'm going through the first...
Dungeon?
So, yeah, the first kind of dungeon, because I have to go get that book for the wizard.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz. I have to go back to him. And,
the dork. I call him the dork, because he sounds like a dork. I don't know. Yeah. That's my best dork Skyrim impersonation.
So I got to go back to him and drop off this book or something. But I got to get the book. I died for the first time. I was battling some dude because I was trying to be all swift and slick, and I was pulling out the bow and arrow, and I was trying to shoot people from a distance. And I'm not that good at the bow yet, so it didn't.
The bow takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It does. That's the type of character I always end up playing. Yeah. I always I'm gonna be like right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like an Aragorn type player. I'm gonna have my two-handed axe, or sword, and then I'm gonna have like the bow when I can, and then when it comes to the main combat, I'm gonna be like, two-handed, sword and just slashing fools. That's what I'm trying to go with.
Like this?
But it seems like all the time I'm just going with a bow and I'm just sneaking around because it's just so much fun. So much fun. What's wrong, Bobby?
What the hell is this? There's a rumor that just came through. Super Mario themed cereal with Amiibo capability may be heading to stores very soon.
I just bought a box.
No, you did not. Did you really?
No. That's weird.
That's weird.
Kellogg's, man.
That's weird.
That's Kellogg's move if I've ever seen it.
That's strange.
Use your box to play your video games. What is this? So
far, man, I'm really digging this game. I will say this. I don't like the fact that you can't climb the mountains.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a little annoying. And I can see why they did it in Zelda.
You definitely
You
can.
gotta, like, run sideways across and kind of kick, like, push up on an angle. It is the worst thing ever, man.
Yeah, it is. It is so weird. So, like, yeah, you can't climb the mountains, but you can climb it because the game is so glitchy. But it's kind of like glitchy in a good way. I don't know how else to describe it.
I'm like running halfway across the map in order to go up the mountain, and I get like 2 inches up, and I'm like, okay, now run the other way. And I start running the other way. It's so weird.
I'm glad you're having fun though, because my first time, again, I was at GameStop hating my life, and my friend bought this game, and like during the midnight, I'm like, you don't seem like a type of RPG dude. This is still too like I'm still mostly like first or third person shooters, like. I'm getting into RPGs at this point, like really getting into them, and I thank Skyrim for really doing the final push, because when I bought the game a couple days later, because I just had no interest, my friend's like, "Dude, you could fight a damn dragon," and I was just like, "All right, let's give this a shot." And it was a game that me and my friends played together, but just like via like chat, like talking about what we're doing and like. What type of armor we're making, what dragons are starting to come down. It was just like, it was an awesome experience. It's one of the last games where me and my friends really got together and just like played for hours on end. God, so good. I'm so happy it's on Switch. It's a game that for me, I could pop in and out real easily. It's a game that, like, when I think of like game of the year, like this year we're gonna start talking about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, to me, it's not just a game of 2017, but what's the game that I'm always going to come back to and look fondly of. Yeah. You know, so that's why like Skyrim, my game of the year, because I could go back to it anytime and just have a blast with it. You know, and it hasn't aged the best, but it's like a fine wine.
You know what, man? For me, again, I've never played it before. Mm-hmm. So it's my first time in. It looks fine to me. It looks like a grittier, very gritty Zelda so far, is what I'm taking away from it. I'm still learning the whole mechanics and all that, but I have a little vibe to it. Yeah. I'm feeling comfortable with it. I think Tony would really like it, because I think that she would, fall right into like the Fallout type, because it's a lot of Fallout type stuff where here's something that drives me up the wall. So in Zelda, I could pick up like 1 million items. With this thing, I can only pick up like a certain amount of weight.
That'll change. Okay. I think it involves your strength. That changes. Yeah.
This drives me crazy. I had to drop a bunch of stuff earlier. So I was like,
on the PC version, that's where I would actually, the only cheat I would ever use is the unlimited weight. Yeah. Cheat. Other than that, I never put God mode. It's just like, all right, I have all this crap. Now I can just be done with it, Yeah. But yeah.
It's a good game. I'm liking it a lot. I'm loving it. Yeah, so far. So the bad thing is like now I'm like looking at Xenoblade, and I'm like, do I buy this game now?
I have no interest in it.
See, I love Xenoblade. I think Xenoblade's a really good game. So I do have interest in it, and I'm sitting here going like, what do I do? Yeah. What do I do here? So we'll see. I'm definitely getting the controller, because that's my thing.
It's such an awesome controller. Very jealous. Very jealous.
I got the controller pre-ordered and paid off at GameStop. So
I think that is a Christmas gift for me, Xenoblade, because I tried it on the 3DS, and it just didn't hook me, and then I lost it for some reason. It really pissed me off. And X as well. When I heard it's like takes 60 hours just to get your mech, and I'm like, I'm good. I just want the mech.
X is okay. It's different. Yeah. It's different. But X is probably the first open world game I really played. Yeah. X was frustrating a little bit because I really wasn't sure what I was doing and where I was going, and then like I go up into these areas, and then you go up into this area and there's this gigantic monster that like kills you in one swipe, and it's like, the hell was that? Like, what was that all about? Like, dude, I didn't even come near you, man. Like, why?
Minding my own damn business.
Yeah, why?
So I don't same here with this game. I don't know someone in the chat, maybe you could sell me on it. I know Nasty Boots is really looking forward to it. I know even Mickey, our newest patron, he loved X from what I'm aware of. He likes his game. So maybe when I talk to him about it, maybe he'll sell me on it. But there's only 2 reasons why I would buy that game, and it's it's the swords.
Swords.
You know, the sword, the lady, she's very
good
endowed, Bobby.
You.
You know?
What are you doing? Okay, Joseph.
Yeah.
Todd Oxford right now. Todd Oxford's having a heart attack right now.
Why? What's happening to him?
Well, because it's time for a timeout. For topics.
Okay.
Todd Oxford timeout for topics is what
I like that.
Yeah, because he'll complain. He's timing us right now.
Oh, well, are we're running late there, Todd?
Yeah. He's got a.
Don't you have a podcast you got to work about, Todd? Is there a podcast that you need me on?
He's got a timer on it. He's getting upset, and it is what it is, man. So anyway,
this is what I had to deal with today. Yeah,
so the first topic I want to throw at you is, if we ran Nintendo, would we have a chat with third-party developers about a few things?
Okay.
Dropping massive amounts of data onto the hard drives, per se. Delayed games. There's a few things that are, I feel. What I want to do is I want to talk about, what do you think are some issues with the third-party devs right now? Because I feel like there's a few third-party devs that really get it and are doing a good job.
Right.
And then I feel like there's a few third-party devs that just don't get it at all, and they're having an issue with things.
Yeah.
So let's start with this.
Okay.
We're just kind of coming off of the whole EA thing, where EA kind of, got slapped around a little bit and all that. What do you see as some, what do you see as some issues from third-party devs? Let's start with that.
Okay, so the first thing with third-party devs is the one major thing. We see the cartridge space situation, I think is what you're alluding to, right?
Yes.
The cartridge space situation is that there's multiple different sizes. I think one's like a 12 gigabyte card, like a 24 gig, and then a 38 gigabyte card. Something like that. Mm-hmm. And what third-party devs like Warner Brothers, 2K, and even Bethesda with Doom, what they're doing is they're putting a portion of the game on the cartridge and then making it so that if you want to play the game, the rest of it, you have to put it on either your SD card or your internal memory. Which sucks is the Switch only has 32 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah.
So what's ending up happening is people are wasting all their storage on like 2 or 3 games. Right? Yeah. You got Lego, you got Doom. Doom holds the multiplayer side of things off as something you have to download. I think something as well with LA Noire. That's a talk you have to have with not so much the third-party devs, because what they're looking at is they're seeing the Switch and they're looking at it and they're very apprehensive still. It's selling great, but the Wii U also sold great in the beginning. So they're wondering where they can fit in and if their products could sell in this space. Yeah. So what they're ending up doing is they're taking the cheapest, most affordable route that they can. Right? So they're like, okay, we'll put it on the smaller card, and if it works, then we get a whole lot of money from it. And if it doesn't, well, it was a small sacrifice. Yeah. So with that, I would actually not talk to third-party devs, but it will first incentivize them to take the bigger risk, of course, because you do believe in this product. You want them to have the best, and your user base to have the best experience. I would talk to the production company that makes the cartridges for you.
Okay.
Right? I would talk to them about seeing if they can make a bigger version of the card and then phase out the smaller version of the card. So maybe instead of it being a 12 gigabyte card, you phase that out for the 28 gigabyte card, and maybe you can do a little work with that. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest person you got to talk to, if I'm Nintendo, is the mirror. Because to me, the biggest problem is 32 gigabytes? In 2017, I'm not downloading songs, right? We're downloading games. Yeah. Games that are console games.
Okay, are you talking about 32 gigabytes for the carts, or are you talking about 32 gigabytes of memory?
I'm talking about 32 gigs on the system itself is way too low.
So my thing is I've always said this, like I don't necessarily, when it all first came out, I didn't necessarily have a problem with that because of this. Because in theory, most games were going to be purchased via cartridge.
Right.
And it wasn't going to be this issue of I have to download part of the game onto the Switch. You know what I mean? Like, I was looking at it as, okay, I bought a 128 gig, piece. But when I looked at, like, the size of, like, Mario Kart's 5 gig. Zelda's, like, 8 or 9 gig. Like, Zelda's not much at all.
It's something.
And it's a huge game.
I think it's 16, actually.
Yeah. I think, when you looked at the actual Wii U, the biggest game on the Wii U was Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was like 32 gig. And that was the biggest game there was. But other than that, like, Mario was only like 2 or 3 gig on it.
Right. Yeah, and I gotta say, who does if that's like, who does the compression work at Nintendo? It's
I don't know, because they are fantastic. They are
interdimensional creature. Maybe.
Well, they've always been that's been their strongest suit always. Just because you got to think, like, they always use cartridges and stuff. Yeah. They didn't have the ability to go all this extra memory and stuff. So for me, when I looked at it, I was like, it's not a big deal. Because when I do want to download a game to it, it's not going to be that big. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
What third parties are doing they're making it a big deal now. Where that even though I buy the cartridge, it's not enough. It's not enough to handle what I'm doing. So in this aspect, I look at it and go, where exactly is the issue here? Where exactly does the issue lie? And I feel like both parties are to blame. I feel like Nintendo put Skyrim out. If I'm not mistaken, they published this game. They worked with Bethesda, and they basically put this game out. Now, this game is basically everything on the cartridge is in the cartridge, right? There is no...
Yeah. That's what I was just looking for. I wanted to see how much storage space it uses. But
when you're looking at, like, L.A. Noire, why? Why did they not go to them and go... That's what I think Nintendo needs to do. Nintendo needs to go to these companies and go, look... Because here's the thing. I don't know if you know this. L.A. Noire came out on all consoles, right? Came out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and then it came out on the Switch. In Europe, this thing sold 20% of the stock to the Switch. Now, that's a big number because when you consider, here's the thing. One, Nintendo doesn't have a huge base in Europe. It has a decent base, but typically PlayStation kind of runs things over there. So they do run the joint, yeah. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is the fact of, like, it's a new console. So the fact that they were able to move 20% says that they've sold a lot of copies on the Switch over there, in my opinion. This is good for Nintendo. So, but Nintendo needs to then go to these companies and go, guys, look, your games are moving on our console. This isn't the Wii U. You put stuff on the Switch, it's going to move. They need to be like, I think it's a partly both sides. When a company comes to Nintendo and goes, oh, we'll take the 12 gig, they need to go, no. This game is, you got a game you're coming with, it's 30-something gig, you're not coming with a 12. You need to go with the proper amount. We need to do this right. And then...
Well, I think I think Nintendo has to step up to the plate and say, okay, listen, all right, whoa, what are you doing? 12, our user base, 12 is if you got an indie game, right? Like I'm talking to 2K.
Yes.
Listen, what's it going to take for you to put this on my system on the larger cartridge. Again, I think by talking to the people that designed the cartridge and by phasing out the 12, I think that helps it a lot. But I would say, okay, wait, what are you doing here? We will help pay for the cost of X to make sure that product X is on the shelf. Because if I'm Nintendo, I want more games like Skyrim out on the console, right? Yeah. Like I want GTA 5. It can happen. It can be done. If this game got on it, yeah, definitely GTA can. And I think if you're 2K and if I'm Nintendo, we're already talking about it. We're already talking probably next year. That's our big push, or something along those lines of okay, if you're bringing GTA 5 on here, this is not going to be on this 12 gigabyte thing. Let's make it the premier thing. We'll promote you as Nintendo behind this product, or some way around being able to give you what you need to make sure this game sells on the Nintendo product. And making sure that it succeeds. I don't know if you necessarily want to put Nintendo in front of GTA, but maybe give them some playing around money, some walking around money.
Well, my thing is this: is if you essentially subsidize them a little bit, and we're like, hey, look, if you go with a bigger card, we're going to lower the cost. So
exactly, that's what I mean.
If what you were paying for the big card, let's just say it was $10 a card. You know what I mean? Then you turn around and go, the next one down is $5. Okay, if you buy 100,000 copies, we're going to kick you down. Yeah. Like, that's what you need to do. You need to say, look, if you buy this many of the big cart, we'll bring it down to the medium-sized cart. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the price-wise. Because give them the incentive to bring it to them. Yeah. Because I feel
also, I just checked up on my hip mobile device phone, and Skyrim is 14 gigs and change.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. I mean, Bethesda's known for really crunching the numbers when it comes to games.
I'm really excited. To see where the partnership between Bethesda and Nintendo lies.
Yeah,
because I think there's something they're working on even deeper than this. Yeah. I really do think that. I think there's a project that they're working hand in hand with.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it is. Because I think that they realize that Bethesda's a very solid partner. Mm-hmm. Bethesda is a company that's, in my mind, up and coming in terms of, they're starting to take the stage at E3. Like, they're moving into that forward. And they're loved by people. Like, it's almost like, even as glitchy as their games are, they get a free pass every single time because they do a lot of fan service and they do a good job with what they do, and they make promises and they deliver on them, and that's huge.
I wouldn't even be surprised we see Fallout 4 somehow on this console.
Yeah, I think
I'm like looking at the future of the Switch. It excites me a lot. Mm-hmm. The one thing is I think when we see the next generation of Switches. Mm-hmm. The next iteration, not generation.
Yeah.
But, the second iteration is, I think we're going to see more space on the consoles.
Oh, absolutely.
I was thinking about this when you brought the topic up to me earlier I think you're going to see a more energy efficient Switch. You're going to see a Switch with a larger screen, but you're going to see a Switch that is, instead of 32 gigs, 128 gigs.
Well, the thing of it is, and Sean and I talked about this numerous times on If We Ran Nintendo, and I've said this numerous times. Yeah. I don't think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this. I think that the next iteration is just the tablet. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, where what they'll do is they'll pull an Apple and they'll go, okay, guys, you can buy the tablet for $300, right? Just the tablet, and it'll be powerful.
Yeah.
And then, right, so me that owns a Switch already, I can go just replace the tablet.
Yeah.
It'll be a much more souped up version. I still pay $300, but I get all this big bells and whistles. Then
I like that a lot,
they'll have another package that'll be the Switch with the Joy-Cons and the dock and all that, and that'll be X amount of dollars. And then they'll have Switch 1, which will be a lesser priced one, and that's going to be the model we have now. And if they do that,
I think it's either they do the pro version or they actually do one where the controllers are stuck to the console itself and it's just like their mobile version. Because
I think they're going to continually iterate on this thing and continually add things every couple of years.
I was so happy to see. I'm sorry, Todd, but we're gonna go off the beaten track again. I was so happy to see on Black Friday there was a mountain of Switches, but like people were continuously grabbing them.
Oh, dude, let me tell you what. I went to my Best Buy, right? Sold out. Awesome. I went to Target, sold out, and these guys had mountains of them the days before. Like it is crazy to see how well this thing is moving. Like this thing is moving at crazy speeds. I just read yesterday that they basically have the Switch on pace. If it continues to go the way it does during this holiday, that it will outpace the Wii at the same time period. Like by a lot, not a little bit, like a lot. Like this is doing huge numbers.
It's set to maybe even outpace the PlayStation 4 in terms of when it came out. Everybody was. This is the thing that I don't see a lot on the internet is the amazement of back in the day with the PlayStation 4. It sold 12 million units in a year. Everybody's freaking out. This thing's set to push about, if not around, 14 million, and everybody's still talking about why power is so important. It's like, no, it's actually an analyst just came out, even with the Xbox One X. This November, it's anyone's game to take the number one spot. So, like, for me, I get so excited when I see people around the Nintendo aisle now and, like, actually buying and investing in a Switch because it's so awesome.
When I went there, this is funny. I go there, right? And I'm in the back of the store. I'm in the Nintendo section. And I'm pulling up, like, I'm looking for L.A. Noire and I'm looking for all these different games. And I'm standing there and a woman and her son walk up and they're looking for Switches and they can't find them. They're like, we got to go ask somebody for them. And I was like, as much as I felt bad for them, I was like fist pumping because I was like, this is what Nintendo wants. Like they need a holiday season. Like this is the true launch for them.
Yeah.
And the fact that like that launch that happened in March wasn't the launch. That March was planting the seed, getting all the Nintendo faithful like rabid for this thing, talking about how great it is, getting the hype swell up. And then now, when it hits now you can see like, dude, they didn't even have this many Switches at launch.
Yeah.
Like you walked into a Best Buy, they would have laughed you out of the store at launch day. These guys got mountains of them and they're sold out.
I remember with Mario Kart, they were like, hey guys, don't worry, we're going to restock these for Mario Kart. There's like 9, right? And you got like, you know, like 10 people fighting for it. So it's just like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I love to see where this console is.
Yeah, I think they're doing really good things. Fix that
memory issue.
Well, I think at some point it'll eventually work itself out. And that's not an okay answer. Like, as a Nintendo fan, again, I wasn't upset in the beginning because I felt like, hey, a 32 gig is like a 500 gig. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like, you look at the games that hit a PS4 and an Xbox One. They're so massive. I get the same amount of games on there as I do on a Switch. But that's before these guys started playing these games with the cartridges. And I feel like that's the problem. You know, like, I could download Splatoon. I could download Mario Kart. And I don't have to worry about it because they're not big juggernauts of games. So, when you're looking at that, and you're going like, hey, these games aren't that big, so I could buy them and download them down there, and it's no big deal, and I have these big AAA games with me all the time that I go around. That's okay. But now that these games are actually they're eating up my memory, when I have a cartridge, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
It is. I think it's something that it'll work itself out because for me, I think all these third parties are dipping their toes in, seeing if the water's warm, and then that's when they're really gonna infuse their teams with cash to make these either reboots or even new games onto the Switch, which I'd really like to see. I would actually really love to see Nintendo do more of what they did with Ubisoft with other guys. Like, I would love to see them take these games we love, like, you know, Mario, and give it to Ubisoft and put the Rabbids in it. Who thought that was going to be good? Yeah. And it turns out to be, to me, the better Mario game this year.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you have paid another $100 for the Switch if they would have given you a 128 gig memory?
Oh, that's real rough. Honestly, at the time, and not like putting the looking down through the airplane type of point of view, probably not.
Yeah,
probably not. That's too much. But now looking at it, I'd be like, maybe, maybe I would. But I think in a year or two that's gonna solve itself.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump into our second topic, and this one's the hot topic of it all. Okay. So if we ran Nintendo, would we implement loot boxes into the next Mario Kart game? And the reason why I'm saying the next Mario Kart game, because there's some time until that hits.
Sure.
And I feel like Mario Kart would be probably a game that you could implement loot boxes in, because of like the upgrades and you unlock stuff and all that. Sure. And especially with like we're getting to the point now where you're getting other characters, other carts of other characters and all that stuff. So I feel like now is the time that Nintendo could implement this. From a business standpoint, what do you see as a plus of implementing loot boxes as a business? Yeah.
Money. It's all about it. It's whenever any developer, any publisher tells you development costs are, and this is a year-round game, so for services and making sure the online works, that's why we have lie. That's a bold-faced total lie, total exaggeration. Right now with EA's Battlefront 2, they've even come out and said that this the lack of microtransactions will not affect the game's bottom line of what it's projected to do money-wise. So that to me is loot boxes. They serve a purpose, and that is making sure that the game is profitable after week 2. Right? Usually games have a very short period in which they sell a tremendous load. Usually it's in the first few weeks it's selling gangbusters, and then it slowly starts dying off. Okay. With games as services, with loot box games, what you're doing now is you're going, okay, now we have this audience, and 90% of them are not going to buy these loot boxes, but 10% of them are. A little under 10%, maybe 5% are going to. And that 5% is going to make profit for us year round. So as long as we keep on creating content, that 5%, that loyal fan base is going to stay. And maybe also some of that 90%, maybe they splurge here or there and they get the content that they want, year-round content for free. So in theory, everybody wins because everybody's getting content technically for free, with the 5% actually paying for it, and they're not knowing because they're enjoying the experience. That's what they call whales. So loot boxes are all about making sure the game's profitable for the 2 years it's out until they make a sequel. That's all it is.
So I heard a rumor, and I don't know whether it's true or not, that the reason why EA put a pin in loot boxes was because Disney went to them.
Oh, definitely.
And said, you are going to mess up our movie that's coming out because you're causing so much ill will that you need to stop. Yeah. And then once everything's done with the movie, then you could do whatever you want to do. But right now, knock it off. Because they haven't said that it's ended for good. They just said
they said they are coming back with it.
Yeah, they said they're just putting it on hold right now.
Some type of form, yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that it's not gone for good. I think it will be back.
With that said, though, I don't want to be like I'm anti-loot boxes, because if they don't affect gameplay, I'm fine. Put them in there. I don't give a crap. Yeah. As long as you don't take out stuff that was in the original game to sell, I don't care. I don't give a crap. Do what you need to do.
Well, and I don't know, because you would know this better than me, but I just want to. There's things that I heard, and maybe I need some clarification. I just want to make sure that I understand everything with the loot boxes. So
I understand you're old. You need the youngin in here to explain to you. You're still working off, what is it? Windows 98, Windows Me? Goodbye, guys. It's been a good run.
So my question for you is,
Yes.
is that with loot boxes, with Battlefront in particular, was it true that, yes, you could unlock everything by playing, but the amount of time you needed to play was like years to unlock everything?
Okay, so a lot of people, when it comes to Battlefront, people are like, I don't see the problem. And I'm like, you don't see the problem because they took the problem out of the game. But I'll tell you this. There is a class in the game that I play the most. It's Assault. And I'm level 18 in this class. Mm-hmm. I have another class I play, but I've literally played it for maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it's a level 22.
Okay.
So what loot boxes were doing was giving me stronger abilities for which class. So it just depends on my luck of how much I pray to RNGesus to give me these things.
Yeah.
In terms of Battlefront, I say this to everybody. I love the game. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying my time with it to an extent. Mm-hmm. But just because I enjoy it doesn't mean I think it's a good game.
Yeah.
And I can see its faults. I agree with all the reviews from the 4s to the 7s. I agree with them. I see what they're saying, and I can't say you're wrong. To me, yeah, it's like a 6, but I'm enjoying myself. But with that said, if the microtransactions were in this game, I would have returned it day one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, do you feel like me saying Mario Kart is the game to do loot boxes in? Do you agree or do you disagree with that?
I disagree totally.
Okay, what game would you? Splatoon?
Super Smash Brothers. You can't do it on Splatoon because now that like pretty much, I mean, you could do it after the year is up, but right now Splatoon's known for giving out free content. And the one thing gamers hate is when you take things back.
Yeah.
So we really got to wait and see even how year 2 of Splatoon does. But so
how would you implement it into Smash?
All right. So here's what I do. You want a different color fox? That's the loot box. You're not locking any characters, any movesets in that game whatsoever, or even any maps or whatever have you. Everything is purely cosmetic. Everything is earned whether you want to pay for it or not. And I say it all the time, broken record here, Overwatch does it the best because every night I walk out with a loot box because of the time I've played. I play like an hour, I get a loot box, and I feel like I've achieved something. Make sure that there's weekly rewards that I can get so that I feel achieved. That's what I say.
Okay. So, with that said, though, does the risk warrant the reward? Or actually, does the reward warrant the risk? Like, the risk you're taking in implementing loot boxes, is it worth the golden prize at the end? Because the people will get pissed.
See, here's the thing with Nintendo. Because I think people would get really pissed.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo is, even when they do things like season passes, they do it in a really classy way. Like the Zelda season pass, $20 for what you've got getting with it and going to get hopefully by the end of the year is totally worth it. And seeing how they've done with games like Super Smash Brothers and Splatoon, the one thing how they've done DLC so far seems pretty legit. But I think the way you sell people on this is, hey, listen, do you instead of 3 characters coming out every 3 months or a character coming out every 3 months and you have to pay $5.99 for it or whatever the case may be. All future content paid for. There is only one Smash Brothers for this system until the Switch 2 comes out. And until then, everything is paid for. This is a continuing game for years to come. And that's all by loot boxes. The one thing is, don't treat people like an idiot, right? Don't say, like, we want people to have a sense of pride and, pride and accomplishment. Say it the way, like, Blizzard said it. Hey, listen, we have loot boxes in our games. That's the catch. Here's what you get because of the loot boxes. Maps, characters, modes, all this stuff free. There is no Overwatch 2, 3, or a prequel. This is what you get. And I think if you don't treat the customers like dumb idiots.
Mm-hmm.
You will get a better response. That's what I think.
Okay. So, as Nintendo, would you, Joseph, would you implement loot boxes?
That's a tough question. And I'm gonna say something. Maybe some people disagree, but I understand why business are doing. They're doing it. They need to get profit, but what it's become is a lot of greed. And I feel like if you do it, there's a right way and a wrong way, always, of how to do these things. For me, it is a case by case scenario. So like in most games, I would say no. Like Mario Kart doesn't need it. Super Smash Brothers, that's a tough sell too. So I think no. I don't think Nintendo can go this route and still be as successful as they are in terms of the love and admiration of their fans. Because the one thing that Nintendo seemingly does right over the years is treat their communities with some type of respect. So I would say no, don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it, I think Nintendo would be the best in order to treat you right. Also, someone said, I don't know who said it down there, but like how Rocket League does it as well is amazing. It's like, dude, I bought the DeLorean first 5 minutes into the game because it's the DeLorean and it's $1.99.
Yeah.
So like as long as it's cosmetic, it doesn't affect gameplay. I don't care, but I think you got to do it carefully.
For me personally, I feel like no. I feel like loot boxes are a mistake, and I feel like, look, I'm under the belief that like fans are the problem, not EA, not any of these companies. Like if you don't want loot boxes, then don't buy them. Like you're buying them, and they're turning a profit, or they wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
I think like there is like a sense of not like entitlement, but like gamers, man, we can't speak with our wallet well because you give us one hype trailer and we're like, you know what, EA, you insert curse word here. Here's my money, but I don't like what you're doing. You know?
And that's and to me that's kind of silly. Yeah. But to each their own. It is what it is. But for me personally, I would not implement loot boxes. I feel like it's a mistake. I feel like it doesn't add any goodwill to the company. Nintendo right now is riding super high.
Exactly. Why ruin it?
They are doing everything right. And to implement loot boxes is a mistake. And I feel like that alone, I feel like it's just a mess that companies are doing it. Whether or not Overwatch does it right or not, I just feel like it's just it's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for trouble.
Because each company, to me, like a lot of people blame Overwatch for doing making microtransactions popular, but I'm like, no. It's not that Overwatch did it correctly. It's every company looks at that and go, okay, but what can we do to make more money than that? What can we do here? What can we do there? So to me, it's that insidious nature that corporations like what we see with EA right now, everybody's looking at this. Yeah. So like when the next game comes out that announces microtransactions, oh boy, do they have a PR campaign in front of them. Like it's going to be nuts. Yeah. So for me, like everybody's looking at this. Everybody's seeing, okay, this is where the dog bit us. Let's not go there. And I think EA has possibly soiled their reputation maybe for the last time. Yeah. Because I think in terms of they're never going to be respected. And I think I think the only games from here on out that are going to really do well is the EA Sports division. Until EA starts building that trust again. Because it's not even just Battlefront, but it's also Need for Speed Payback, Yeah. So that's all I got, man.
So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on all the good places like iTunes and over on Google Play and wherever. If you check this out on YouTube, we sincerely appreciate that. So thank you for that. You can follow Joseph here over on the Twitters at Mr. Badbit. You can also check out his YouTube channel. What is that exactly?
Bad Bit Games.
Bad Bit Games. There you go. Go check it out over there. You can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. You can check out the show on Twitter at If We Ran Nintendo. That is all. Peace out, Preston. Here comes the stupid waving again.